This is Micornus, Phokane, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. We are dealing with key performance indicators for you as a leader that you need to formulate for you as a leader. And key performance indicators, we have actually explained that they fall under strategy, and there are those that fall under engagement. There are those key performance indicators that are under efficiency. But today we also bring about those that fall under finance. There are those key performance indicators that as a leader, you need to categorize them under finances, which is very important as well. So you need to therefore construct the key performance indicators that will speak to finances in your organization, that will speak to finances in the business where you are. And it's very important that as a leader, you drive those key performance indicators under finance very stringently as well. Because remember, for the business to be sustainable, to be afloat at all times, finances are very necessary and very important. Now, the first one that I want to speak about, which is under finance, a key performance indicator, is what we call revenue growth. Now, as a business, you want to increase revenue year to year, day to day, month to month, and we want to see revenue growing. Because if the revenue is not growing, you're remaining stagnant, you are going to close shop very soon. Now, as a leader, please be strategic. And I know some of you as young men, you're going to be CEOs of your own companies. Some of you are employed as CEOs already. And some of you are COOs or operational chief operation officers, and you are people that are managing certain companies. And there are some of you who are finance managers in different areas. And I'm emphasizing this because it's very important that we hold the fort and make sure that we got key performance indicators, and that will be helpful for your own business and organization. And we're saying revenue growth is very key, because without the growth of revenue, then we cannot increase salaries. Without the revenue growth, we cannot reinvest into the business growth itself. So it's very important that we got revenue growth, because it's very key that we see the business growing. Now, revenue growth needs to be tracked, and we must track it. We must track the increases in revenue over some time. And generally what we do is we may actually look at monthly, we might look at year to year, we might look at quarterly as well, we might look at it half yearly as well. So which is H1, H2 certain way of doing things, which will be half year 1 and half year 2. You might use Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q4, which is the quarters, which are every 3 months. But we must also track on monthly basis. This is very important, because if you are losing track on monthly basis, you're going to lose track on quarterly basis. If you're losing quarterly revenue growth, then you're going to lose on half yearly. And of course, annually is going to be problematic as well. You'll find that you may not reach your targets. You may not grow the revenue within the desired year, but you need to track it a bit more closely at a short time basis, which could be monthly, as I'm saying, so that we can see and track if we're growing or not. Now, this is very important, and it's a very, very important key performance indicator for you as a young man when you are a leader in your own company, or you are a leader in somewhere where you are employed. Very, very important. Now, the second thing is what we call profit margins. Remember, they are what we call revenue growth, but the revenues may grow, but we're not actually profiting anything because of, say, for instance, economic problems within the environment that we are operating in, taxations and so on, interest rate at that particular time, and all the conditions that go along with it. It is very important that you monitor profits. Now, I've seen people that open up businesses, and every money that comes back, they want to spend it. They want to use it for buying cars. And some of the entrepreneurs that I've seen, people that are tenderpreneurs as well, that get tender. But when the money comes in, they spend it with flashy cars. They buy clothes and so on. They go on luxurious holidays as well, and just spend the money, because they are not actually looking at what is the profit. Because the profit is very important, that you basically clock in the profits and you are aware that you're making profits out of the business. Because remember that profit will be actually a sum of what you are spending and the cost that you're putting in, and also what then you get. Because the production cost and the cost of the resources that you're using, including the human resources, is actually very important, because that's an investment as well. You've invested money, then you got the cost, then you must look at what the profit is. And it's very important, because most of us just invest the money, and after investing money, we don't look at whether we are gaining a profit out of it or not. Because when you are not gaining a profit, then you're actually running your business down. So it's very important then that profit margins are being monitored as well. So evaluate profit margins for financial health as well, because if you're financially healthy is when you're making more profits, and that's very, very important that we look at that as well. But also I want to say that another KPI that's very important in finance is cost management. I cannot emphasize this enough. We've spoken about it a bit earlier when we spoke about cost reduction in the previous video, part 3, which is very important that you look at cost management. Now, cost management is very important now in this regard, because there are those costs that you need to carry in order to bring money. There's no way you're going to make business unless if you are ready to invest. So in other words, investment of losing money, that looks like losing money, while it brings another money, that may not be a cost, because it's actually an investment that will bring money. But cost is wasteful expenditure, which often happens when you are actually using the money wrongly, or the raw materials that you're using, you're wasteful about the raw materials. Or there's a lack of productivity from your own staff, whereby instead of coming and working and producing, they're lazy, they're not there, they're not working, and they're not producing. So all those are actually ingredients of cost management, which is very, very important. There's salaries that you employ people. Is it a possibility that the job that you have employed somebody who's earning that much could be actually done by somebody who's earning less than that? So all those dynamics, you look at them as a business person, you look at them as a leader, and you start to look at managing your cost to make sure that you don't overpay. You make sure that you don't overspend. You make sure that you don't actually waste time in producing what you want to produce, the business. So make sure that the business then is running effectively, because that will be part of cost management. So control and reduce unnecessary costs. If they are necessary costs, so please reduce those. And that is the reason why some companies will retrench people. The reason is because carrying salaries of people while the people are not effectively working or productive at all. So that is a waste of money, and that becomes then poor cost management. So that's very important that you look at all the dynamics and say, yes, I want to manage my cost, and that is a key performance indicator that I want to put in place. The other key performance indicator that you might want to put in place, particularly when it comes to finances, is what we call cash flow management. Now, cash flow management is very important because you need to maintain what we call a healthy cash flow. A healthy cash flow, you cannot actually divorce it from cost management versus profit margins as well, and revenue growth and all those. They actually speak about the daily spends. How much do you spend? How much flow of cash comes in? And that type of a thing. So you need to basically to have a balance between what is coming in and what is coming out. And that's what we call cash flow management. And this is very important that you scrutinize that. You monitor that. You don't just spend for the sake of spending. You don't just use money for things that are not going to bring another money. So that's you as a leader. You must think and wrap your mind around this. And I believe As a young man, you're going to be a great leader after this, and I'm sure you are gaining quite a bit out of this. We are running businesses. We want to make money. We want to make sure that our businesses are sustainable and productive. Very key that you manage your cash flow as well. That's what we call financial health, which is something that you need to put as a key performance indicator as well. How do? You monitor the overall financial stability. Is our company afloat? You need to know that. Is our organization afloat? You need to know that. Don't wake up while the business is supposed to close because you cannot pay the debts. So it's very important that you manage that day to day. Look at the amount of your debts, creditors, people that you pay, and people that need to pay you as well. So it's very important that you look at all that and balance, and don't have more debts more than what comes in. It's very important that you make sure that there's what we call a financial health, in the sense that the money that comes in is far more than the amount of debts that you had. So therefore, be careful of not just going into debts all the time. And as a leader, be careful and manage your debts ratio, which is very important, because otherwise your financial health will go abuzz, which is very important that you become careful of as well. It's a key performance indicator of note, financial health, which is very, very important. Finally, we want to close by saying another key performance indicator in finance is what we call investment returns. Now, putting up investment returns and monitoring those is very important. Evaluate returns on investment that are made, and this is what we call ROI. We call in business language ROI, which we call return on investment. So in other words, you want to put up an investment in a certain project. The question is, how much will it bring back? You want to put an investment into a certain consultant to come and assist you. The question is, how much you're paying the person versus how much will the return be? So this is very important. You want to put up a project into the company or into your business. The question is, how much will you spend on that project and how much will you get out of that project? So the return on investment is a very, very important performance indicator that you need to take cognizance of as a young man. You need to take cognizance of as a leader, because it's very important for us to make sure that every project that we put on, and it doesn't bring cost only, it is something that will bring proper returns on the investment that we're putting on. And this is very important for us to emphasize. I'm going to end up here today, your host, Micornus, Phokane, the leader and the founder of Young Men Empowerment Forum. I believe that you're learning quite a bit out of this, and you will also remember our social media platforms, our Facebook page, Young Men Empowerment Forum, including our YouTube channel on the very same note, Young Men Empowerment Forum. We're having our Facebook page, Micornus Phokane, and YouTube channel in that regard as well, Micornus Phokane. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel, click notification buttons, like our Facebook pages, and follow us there. And the good Lord will bless you. Don't forget, therefore, our TikTok account as well, which is very important. We have posted enough materials in the past of this particular talks that we give. And I believe that that will help you as you follow us on our social media platform. And the good Lord will bless you as you do so. So till we meet again, we'll wrap up this topic tomorrow. So follow us on part 5 of this great topic. May the good Lord bless you, and allow me to check out right here and say cheers for now.